Hello, so welcome, Amy and Nigel. Welcome to Wine and Real Estate. I'm super excited to catch up with you. It's been a while, and I know you've done a lot. You've actually come back not too long ago from Spain. So let's start with Spain, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, sure. So, well, thank you for having us anyway. But yeah, we had. I was away for 3 weeks. We had 2 weeks in England. 1 week was a course, and then we finished it off with a week in Spain. Because whenever we go back to England, it's so easy to get to Spain. We're like, well,
Yes.
yeah, it'd be rude not to have a week. So yeah, it was amazing. We go down onto the Costa del Sol area,
Okay.
and it was beautiful.
Any real estate deals down there? Because I did see on your profile that you were looking.
Well, Nige wants to buy an apartment down there. So
Okay.
it's on our goal list for end of this year, beginning of next year to buy an apartment there. So it's the first time I've started looking in. Well, we started looking into it like about 15 years ago, I think. But yeah, we've come back around to it now. So we did meet a realtor there, and we've given her, what we're looking for. We know what area we're looking in. So yeah, and we found an Airbnb manager as well. It was actually the Airbnb that we stayed in. I was so impressed with it, and I was so impressed with her that I actually reached out and said, if we can get something in this area, would you be interested in managing it? And she is. So she also
Wow.
would be interested in, designing it and doing the IKEA run and everything for us. So yeah, we've got that.
Amazing. So let's go back to the beginning then, maybe. I was reading a bit about your bio, and how did you get started in real estate investing? Now we're looking at Spain, but I'm sure it began somewhere.
Yeah, shall I?
Yeah, you kick it off. It began in South Yorkshire, close to Spain, but I'll let you kick it off.
Yeah. South Yorkshire is where I'm from in the UK. So yeah, well, I bought my first house when I was 19.
Wow.
Long time ago, back in 99, and then sold it a few years after for double the price, and then bought another one which was a complete good job. And that's when I met Nigel, who helped me finish it off. And we
Very good.
Yeah, we lived in that for a year or two and saved up quite a lot. We saved up as much as we could. We didn't really go out, did we? For a couple of years.
Stayed in for quite a lot.
Yeah, and then we actually rented that one, and we bought another primary residence. So we had that property for quite a while, about 13 years. Managed it ourselves. Didn't really know what we were doing. Probably should have increased the rents a few times and stuff.
Or at least once.
Yeah, we did once, I think.
Did we?
But yeah, we learned a lot from it, and then we moved up. We emigrated to Canada 11 years ago. We've always been interested in real estate. We've always moved every 3 to 4 years and bought a primary residence that needed renovations. But we always knew we wanted to invest, but life happened. Whatever, like we had Colby. We were trying for his little boy for some time, and we just put it on the back burner. And it was in the middle of 2020, maybe early 2020, that we thought, you know what, we need to really do this. We're interested in it. And so we bought our first duplex in Ontario in January 2021.
Wow.
Literally the first week in January. And then we bought our second duplex 5 days after.
Oh my goodness, back to back.
Yeah. So we moved pretty quick, but the reason why we'd really done his homework and we'd researched, we'd seen a ton of properties, and we'd put offers in quite a lot over the November-December period. And we'd also accumulated quite a healthy HELOC with moving and renovating so many times that we always knew we had there. We just didn't realize we could access it to invest in real estate. So as soon as we
The magic tool.
Yeah, so we bought our third property a couple of months after that.
Yep.
We basically bought 6 properties in 6 months, and then we bought 7 in 10 months altogether. And that's kind of where we've stopped, because last year we were setting up as Airbnb, and then we started doing adding more units to the properties that we already had. So we're doing the BRRRR strategy. That's what we enjoy. The Airbnb is a one-off that we wanted to try, and we've recently decided that's probably not for us.
Oh no, it's
yeah,
a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and we've actually just taken on a manager to look after that for us. So we would buy some in the future, but we'd definitely have a manager for that.
Yeah.
We manage the properties. We opened a property management company to manage our own properties. So it's just too much, and I think like moving so quick, and like trying lots of different strategies. It's great, and you need to figure out what you like. But then you have to start thinking, okay, where do I need to focus? And that's kind of what we've just come through over the last year. Yeah.
Very good. Wow. And what are you drinking? I saw a nice glass of something earlier.
This is a California Sauvignon Blanc. I think it's called Josh or something. I have the bottle here. I'll not promote it, but it's very nice.
Good. Great. And I'm not too sure. My wife poured me some red. So I don't know what it is. I think it's it's an Italian red wine, not Chianti. Anyway, a nice red. I love my red Italian wines, or Spanish reds as well are very good. So like real estate investing, that's why I always talk about wine. A portfolio, you want it to age gracefully, just like wine. And that's kind of what you did there. You bought like 7 properties, then you hit kind of a plateau. How do you bring in systems and get things to work so it's sustainable? And you have a family as well, so you have a little one you got to take care of, and careers and all kinds of things happening. So how do you juggle it all? I'm very curious, because you do a lot.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been challenging, and we feel as if we're just kind of coming out at a better place now, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, some peace and quiet.
Yeah, there's definitely been. Other than today's been a bit.
Today's been a rough day today.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, we've been getting screamed at by a tenant. That's another story. But I think we definitely got. It was very exciting, kind of moving forward, and we always looked at properties where we could add value. We knew that we wanted to add more units, and so we did look at that. But then, I think last year we really did get burnt out at the beginning of last year. And then we're going through all the refinances and everything, and I didn't realize how much stress that brought with trying to get the refinances through and managing your credit score and everything. And I will say, so Francois, you was my first mentor, and you helped me like so much.
Oh, good.
Oh my God, like that was a massive help. I was actually listening to a podcast that you'd done today. Not today, you'd done it a few months back. It was a mindset one. I forgot what the lady's name is now. Melanie.
Oh, Melanie Robinson.
Yeah, it was excellent. And I was thinking, like, that was such a good podcast, but you was just such a big help to me, like in the early days as my first mentor. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, we we've both got full-time jobs. Luckily, I work from home, so it's a little bit easier for me. I do have to travel a bit. Now just full on managing warehouses, so it's not as easy for him to be jumping in and doing things, but you do still do.
Yeah, we do. We still manage to carve out some time. We don't. By the time we get an hour and a half on the night time, that's our productive time. Once the sun's gone to bed, and we can really start digging into stuff a bit deeper.
I don't know about productive. But...
Well, we try to be productive.
Yeah, I'm a morning person, so it's hard, but we do get up early. We try to be 5 o'clock risers, don't we? And get in the gym and get that done. So we really do try to work on his mindset, which is why I was listening to that podcast. But
I love what you're saying there and talking about mindset. So if you're a morning person, Amy, your best time of day is probably the morning. So if you get up early and work on your own business, you're giving your best time to yourself, which is very important. Just like in payments or repaying yourself, they always say pay yourself first. So I pay myself first now with time as well, not just money. And you're already doing it, so that's amazing. Congrats.
Thank you. We're trying. It's definitely the challenge, the mindset thing of being a real estate investor. It's not as easy, is it?
No, and bad tenants.
Yeah, I think for us at the minute, it's always in my mind of, you've got to get working on the business and not in the business.
Yes.
And since we started the property management company, and we have goals and we're getting there now, but the setting up of systems and writing procedures. I've just spoke to a VA company today, so we're working on. We've finally got an amazing bookkeeper. We've got a great accountant, and they're working together better, so that's good. But finding these people who
very hard.
Well with it, yeah, you have to, we thought we had a great power team at the beginning, and we've probably restructured that fully, haven't we?
Yeah.
Or close to fully. But yeah, it's definitely the process part, and kind of stabilizing it so you can grow is definitely hard. I can see why people buy like 2 or 3 properties and stop. Definitely.
Yeah, well, you're laying the foundation for the future. So I've done that myself many times. I've bought properties, then okay, stop, analyze what's going on. Is this working well? Do I have the right power team? Like right now, I'm doing a lot of international investments, and if you go to Spain, you'll notice the same. Right now, it's great. You've met these people. It's a good starting point. But if you start growing in Spain, you might find that the fees are too high, or the service isn't there. It looks good, but maybe it's not exactly what you want. So it's the same in Ontario. So before coming on air, I read you were converting a church. That must be quite a challenge too, talking about systems and challenges.
Yeah,
it's probably the biggest conversion challenge yet.
Yeah.
There's so much that's going into it. Obviously, we still have, it's currently duplex. We have 2 tenants in there, so trying to balance all that and the contract work and everything that's going to go into it, and trying to keep everything, all the balls juggled in the air correctly, it can be quite challenging.
Yeah, it's So we actually bought the church as a duplex. It's got a huge basement. So we always knew we wanted to convert it to a fourplex. But it was always a good cash flower, and we've left that to the very end. So we've totally turned around all those other properties, haven't we? So we did a duplex to triplex conversion on one. We've just finished a garage conversion to a garden suite. So that's now a triplex. So that one's done, and then this one was the big one, the duplex to fourplex. And mainly because the town, they've been so specific on plans, and then we had some of the neighbours that had requests in and complained about certain things.
Oh, no.
Accommodate them. So we've actually just got the work has started now. The demolition work started. I've just got an email today saying that they should be able to issue the building permit tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
wow.
That is amazing. But are we on version 10 of the
architect now? We've probably been in contact with him more than anybody over the last few weeks.
The designer, and then he disappeared on vacation for a week. It's like, oh my god, where's he gone? We need him. So but yeah, we're working well with the neighbours now. We've gone and met them. We've kind of come to design agreements that work with them, but it's been a lot of work. And we've got amazing contractors. We're actually managing this one a little bit more ourselves, because it was a lot we could do it a little bit cheaper if we took a little bit of the workload off as contractor. But I actually prefer it. Like, the one thing that I enjoy, I don't know whether Nigel enjoys it. I just kind of throw it at you a lot, but we both enjoy it really. We both enjoy dealing with the contractors and arranging everything and making sure everything's in place. I think we'd be good general contractors.
I think we would be good general
That's the bit that we enjoy.
Well, that's what general contracting is. Really, you're orchestrating all the different trades, and you're doing quality controls and quality checks and design decisions. Sometimes something doesn't quite go the right way. Do you have an example of something like that? Like, you had a vision, and then, got to put a beam here, right where it's supposed to be nice and open, or...
Oh my God, so many. on it. Like
the window
the good thing that I think we do, we're really good on the same page. That as soon as it's like, okay, we can't do it that way, we're like, right, okay, problem solved.
easy. Okay.
So as an example, with the church conversion, the reason why we've had the majority of the design plans changed is the back stairs, which is going to be the back entrance to the maintenance room and the back unit. There's some old church stairs and it has a bit of a shunt out in the exterior, and it's pretty close. It's only about 6 feet, I think, away from the neighbour's property.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So she actually, it's her property is literally on her property line. That's the reason why. And these like old, towns and everything, they're kind of like.
It's not even homemade.
No, it always like robs a bit of somebody else's property line. So anyway, she was really nice and said, I have no concerns with the fourplex conversion, but I don't want that door where it currently is, where the tenants would go down and have to get all the furniture around. The property. So she requested that we move the door around and face it to the other street, which on paper looked fine. But what happened was, literally, as we were going into the council meeting, and myself and our planner was online, my planner was literally emailing me saying, this letter's just come through, can you do it? And I was like, I don't know if we can do it yet, if we can turn the door around. I don't know if we can make this happen, but I don't know. It got pushed through. It literally was a split decision vote by the mayor to put it through.
Oh, wow.
So, even with the fact that we need more housing and there's not going to be any changes to the exterior of this building, it was still that tight. And like, it is a smaller town, I guess. So that's why. But anyway, like back to the stairs, when we looked at it, the designer did it. It goes back to the building officer. He said, no, we can't have it this way. And we were back and forth. And the reason why was to get the swing out, we had to build another a platform at the top of those stairs, swung round. We could have built on top of the existing stairs, which was fine. But having that swing out meant that we already had a minor variance already approved. But it would have mean we needed a minor variance for the sake of, it was literally nothing. It was like inches. About 12 inches. Yeah, it was not. It was 12 So we looked at everything and we measured up the property line, saying, are we exact? Are we sure this is right? And in the end, like we had the building officer there. He's been there so many times. All the contractors, the designer there. And we were in Spain at this point. We're like, we kind of like, we had everybody working for us. So that was good at least. But they had all kinds of solutions. And in the end, I'm like, let's just get the neighbour over. Just get her involved. Because I really don't think she'd want us to go through another minor variance and take it even closer to her property. Let's ask if we can actually make the stairs open and put two like handrails on, make it look really nice. Maybe have a little shunt out cover to help with snow. Have the external door at the bottom of the stairs. We're going to have a drain in there that goes straight to the utility room, so it does collect water if there's any there. And yeah, so we problem solved. We kind of like led everybody down that path of there's little pieces that people don't realize. So our contractor didn't realize that it was the neighbor that had that request. And so it's all about communication and really just getting together and problem solving.
It is, yeah. And to Amy's point now, when this all come about, like we said, we were in Spain. So we were like 6 hours ahead.
Yeah.
6 hours ahead.
Oh, wow.
So we're then like luckily we're like a daytime for us. So people were accessible. So we're reaching out to his contractors and saying, hey, can you just go see the neighbour in question? And he come back and he give us his number and we were texting her and then we were literally talking to her and she was lovely. And it ended up where the final conversation on it was, she said, I've got to go to work, but my dad's over there now talking to your contractors and they're all laughing and joking and it's great. That was just more, what started off as you're going to get a minor variance, like, right, how do we solve this quick? What's the quickest way? There's got to be another alternative to this. And again, just by communicating and just kind of getting ideas between us, the neighbours and the contractors, we managed to find a good resolution.
While we were sat drinking a beer on the balcony with a nice view, we did all. So but in the end, like that's kind of what we went back with. The designer put it together. I think that was version 9. But then the last request was that they needed a cross section of it to actually show the head clearance, even though it was fine. And then the lady next door, bless her, she wrote a letter to the town planner saying, we're working well together. I'm totally good with the door now facing our property. The problem is that within the rezoning agreement, they actually had that the door had to face the other street.
Oh no.
So now it does have to go back to the council meeting to get that removed, even though we've got a letter from, like, I feel like I could really help with their processes and make life so much easier for them. But anyway, that's how they do things. And, you know, these towns are very kind of, there's a process they have to go through, and processes that might have been built back in the early 90s, but still they're going through it. And so we have to wait while the 7th of June just for that piece removing.
Yep.
But what the building officer has been really great. Like, we know him well now. And he's actually said, look, I'll give you the building permit for the front unit, which will also include like the trenching out and everything else. And then we'll just get the back permit once we've got that approved, which it'll be.
So answer to your question, Francois, that's our roadblock, let's say, at this point.
Yeah, that sounds like a complicated one. And what I like there is the mindset. So you kept going. Okay, let's find a solution. How can we negotiate? And it's team building. Now you know all these people. And something very different that the two of you do, you invest in smaller towns. So most of my guests are investing in bigger cities, and you're doing small towns. So small towns do come with their challenges, but you get to know everybody as well now, which is different. Here in Ottawa, where I am, not everybody knows each other. People say it's still important to build those relationships with the city, with the planners and all that, but it's harder because we have many here. While where you're investing, there's probably one or two, and that's it. So
what
you get along.
what we've tried to do as well in the town that we're referring to here, we've also tried to use all local trades, all the local suppliers.
That's good.
Everything from the flooring to the drywall to the electricals, it's all, as much as we can, it's bought from the town, and all of us trades that work there are either from the town or within like a 10-kilometer radius. So not only the mindset is not only just to make some nice homes and, you know, go on this journey, but also how can we give that little bit back as well?
And we'll tell you the town, it's in Alma.
Yeah.
So even though it's a small town, we always, and there's other properties that are in St. Mary's just outside of Stratford. So even though the small towns, they're kind of very close to the London area, and like St. Mary's is very close to Kitchener and Stratford. So we always make sure that, you know, it's an area where you can see that it's going to grow into. And I think with the properties that we've had since we've been here, the primary residence, it kind of come from that we, you know, we both worked in Mississauga. Nigel works in Vaughan now, but we both worked in Mississauga at the time, and you could just really see how the real estate market was stretching out. And we were always trying to, because we'd seen that, we were just trying to stay that step ahead. So potentially we could benefit from the cash flow and the appreciation as well.
But yeah, Elmer is very strategic. My wife is from St. Thomas. That's where she grew up. So next door to Elmer, and St. Thomas has seen a massive growth. It's like quadrupled in 20 years. So Elmer is also growing, and for many years it was a bit underpriced. That's not really the case anymore, but it was a bargain for many years. And the weather is nice too compared to other parts of Ontario. It snows a lot more. They hardly get any snow over there, which is a big selling feature to a lot of Canadians. You might not think so, but if you're from Ottawa, you don't get any snow. You don't know snow.
Oh, really? Oh, maybe we should move to Ottawa.
Maybe we should. Yeah,
if you like snow, we had 330 centimeters this winter, which was, I think, a record. Normally we get 250. So it was a lot of snow. I couldn't see across the street.
Okay, yeah, I don't know that I could handle that.
Yeah, that's a lot. Which is crazy, but wow, congrats on persevering as well through 10 versions. So what's next now? You're working on systems. You spoke about a VA. So what will a VA do for you?
Help with finding deals. I'm looking at kind of starting the tenant management system, so either like Buildium or Tenant Cloud, so help with that. And then really there's just and help with scheduling the maintenance and kind of communicating with the tenants.
That's good.
They're the three ones that I really want help with. And I think that'll take a little bit off there. And then as far as kind of next steps and as goals, we've really kind of like studied this a lot over the last year and tried to figure out, okay, what is right for us. And so we've decided now that we're going to start doing some flips.
Okay, great.
That's what we're going to focus on now. Yeah. We're trying to really narrow down as focus. So it's flips for now. We are totally open to doing some joint venture partners. We've got a couple of joint venture partners. So that as well. With the joint venture partners, we'd aim to look at adding units because that's the bit that we enjoy on where we add value. So that's it. But yeah, no more focus on Airbnb at the moment. Like
no,
that's taken care of. And then in the long term, I'll let you.
Yeah, so in the long term, we're looking at, or I'm certainly very passionate about the industrial side of it.
Yes.
So how we can, I'm going to say, do what we're currently doing, but on a much bigger scale. So not only just building, breaking ground and actually building distribution, but also the value add that we can bring to existing distribution. So my background is 26 years in logistics and distribution.
Wow.
So that's the part that I'm passionate about and I want to get into, is to how we can, what we could bring to a distribution center, either old or, brand new.
Right. Yeah. And that's a huge potential. I mean, that's the way of the future. More and more it's distribution along the highways. Before it used to be farms and then factories, and now it's distribution. That's all you see as you go into Mississauga and Milton and other areas. St. Thomas, huge distribution hub now with Amazon that opened. And I'm sure that is affecting Aylmer as well, potentially. Some people work on that corridor now. So tons of potential. Ottawa, I read we ran out of land for distribution centers. So the city is looking at rezoning some land to add more, because it does slow growth. If a city doesn't have enough distribution, it slows everything else down, housing and all that. So wow, that sounds very exciting.
That's the plan. Well, Nigel specializes in like doing warehouse startups. So he's passionate about it. And then combined with the real estate, it's something that we've always looked at. It just, when we're both working full time, it felt like that wasn't the easier path. And then I'm like more passionate about the multifamily. And so that's kind of why, I don't know, I guess I won to from the starting point.
Yeah, we didn't want to, first bit of real estate, didn't want to be 1,000 square foot.
Yeah, I know. It's good to learn on, to start with the smaller multifamily. I'd always say it's good to learn there.
Well, that's it. And warehouses, I mean, you're dealing with many millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So very, very, very different scale. It's also commercial financing. Right now, have you tapped into commercial financing or mostly residential still?
Mostly residential. We might be tapped out when the fourplex is done. It potentially could be our last residential refinance.
Yes.
So we're trying, but then it'll be commercial, yeah.
Or you could open a corporation, and that there are fees, but you could start rolling in those properties in a corporation.
Yeah, we have a corporation for a few of the properties. I mean, we did kind of start looking at the larger multifamily, but I don't know. It's just not. We're just not as passionate about it just yet. So that'll come, I guess.
And we always say you've got to go with your gut.
Yeah,
you can.
You do.
There's a lot of nice shiny things out there when it comes to real estate, and everybody's doing something. They've got great stories with the Airbnb, multifamily, international, whatever it might be. But if you're just doing it because someone will give you a great story, we don't think that's the kind of way to go. You've got to go work with passion, what you're going to want to live and breathe, and what every morning do you get up and just you're so driven by, and that's the way we should go.
Yeah, and that's really important. Like you said, you got a phone call in Spain to deal with your multifamily in Ontario. So of course you got to be passionate to say, okay, I'll take a few minutes.
Yeah, yes. It was actually about 2 hours, I think, that
2
we were
hours.
dealing with that.
Probably
But,
2 hours. Yeah, wow.
we're still sat on the
a couple of
balcony.
beers,
Yes, we're still having a beer on the balconies or whatever. But yeah, I think, like, to Nigel's point, I think that's the hardest thing when you're really looking at everybody else, and the shiny object syndrome is real.
Yes.
You start off, and for us, we'd kind of learn, you know, like how to kind of start investing in real estate. I'm a CPA, and I absolutely love like the numbers and everything and the analyzing deals. And so we started not really looking at that many people. We maybe watched about 3 people or something. And then we just went for it and learned. And we had, like, obviously the experience from the UK as well. But the more people that, you know, I followed on, like, on social media,
it gets
and
worse.
I learned, that actually slowed us down. And I think that's what happened last year. We went through a bit of a,
oh no,
like I said, we've never not had a project on the go. We've always had a project going on, but we definitely, you know, didn't go as fast as what we did in 2021. And so, you know, we're looking to really scale as business now.
And I think that was probably the most, for me anyway, that was the most difficult part. So we'd had this year of buying properties, and it's all great, it's exciting, you're getting these properties, you're getting these doors, and then you come into next year and you're like,
you have to stabilize.
Yeah. So you're not buying nothing, and you're just trying to fix what you've bought, whether it be processes, whether it be renovations. So then you go like all last year, don't we? We just went all last year, just literally stabilizing processes,
refinancing.
And then this year we've end of last year, this year we've come into value add, which has been exciting again. So we're back. We've kind of gone up and back down, and then kind of back up now. So
now we're ready for buying again now.
Ready for buying again.
More exciting.
You need that dopamine hit. More the thrill of the buy and the renovation.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
That's amazing. So you also post a fair bit on social media, so people can compare and learn from you. What's the best way for my listeners to find out more about what you do and maybe ask some questions?
Yeah, so on Instagram we are SPS Investments, and then Facebook I'm just Amy Brook on Facebook. I just like opened my that was hard to do. I opened my personal Facebook page to the world.
It was very brave.
And yeah, so just Amy Brook on Facebook, and then we try and use Nigel's Facebook a bit more
for private. Yeah. That's what we do too with my wife.
Right now, but...
Yeah, you are.
It's important to separate business and family and personal life as well. So what's your business persona and what you want to display? Some stuff is meant to be private. Well, this was very enlightening. Cheers to your success. Cheers. Many more years of great investments. And I can't wait to catch up with you in a little while and see what you're up to. I'd love to see some warehouses at some point popping up. He's got a duplex, fourplex, and then a huge 26 million square foot warehouse. And
26 million. I love it, Francois. Let's do it.
Why not? That's great. Well, thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Take care.